to our unusual guest.
Insects in fiction has been a pretty long time staple. It's pretty easy for creators to draw parallels between like hive-minded insects like bees or ants to spark discussions in relation to how societies operate as a whole, due to them sharing some stark similarities. Like a beehive or an ant colony, humans too tend to operate with each member of the community filling set roles, like caregivers or soldiers or food makers.
Worker. Soldier. Worker.
Except, unlike humans, many insect species tend to operate under a queen system in which all of the insects of that hive or colony are born to one individual and subsequently, by that logic, are siblings. Hey there, I'm here to interrupt your regularly scheduled entertainment with more nonsense. Now, I have only the most basic knowledge of hive-based insects, so forgive me. But the thing about that is that most people also only have the most very basic knowledge of hive-based insects.
Wait a second! Wait! Time out! How was I supposed to know ants had feelings, their families, their trials? They're just a bunch of stupid ants!
What we are collectively taught is that insects that operate with a queen system means that all of the ants or bees or whatever insect is born from the same queen, thusly making the insects of that hive or colony all related in some fashion. And while yes, I know there are instances of outside bugs coming into the hive or colony and being accepted among them, that isn't really the norm that people are traditionally taught about these insect systems. So with that mindset, why do so many bug-related films heavily feature romance as a subplot between these bugs?
And he happens to be the nicest bee I've met in a long time.
Long time? What are you talking about? Are there other bugs in your life?
Example, DreamWorks Ants. Z falls in love with the princess.
You came back for me.
Well, yeah, I came back for you. You know, I have strong feelings for you. Let's face it, you're beautiful. A little combative at times, but I think we can work on that.
You talk too much.
Except he acknowledges in the context of the movie that the queen is his mother.
You know, my mother never had time for me. You know, when you're the middle child in a family of 5 million, you don't get any attention. I mean, how's it possible?
Thus, the princess is his sister.
Those royals really live it up. Plus, they're all a little, from inbreeding.
What?
So why do so many of these movies just unabashedly feature insect incest like it's no big deal? Why do not enough people question this as a concept? Example again, Disney, A Bug's Life, same thing. Flick falls in love with the princess ant.
Thank you.
Like, I know that in A Bug's Life, an ant started as like the same movie because of like idea stealing nonsense when DreamWorks and Disney split, yada yada. But no one thought for a second, hey,
You know, I was gonna let you become part of my most erotic fantasies, but now you can just forget that.
wait a minute.
Hopper's gonna squish my mom!
Oh!
No, Dot. They're not going to squish your mom. They're going to squish our mom. Another example, Ant Bully. Wizard Ant has a girlfriend.
No, okay,
I'm
no,
simply
no.
walking towards you.
Whoa.
There's no reason to
wait,
panic. There's
hold
no
on.
reason to panic.
Whoa,
I'm
no,
just gonna-
wait, no, hold on. No. Don't make me cocktail you.
Well, I'm glad you two have something to laugh about.
If we're going to have like all of these like bug romance movies, can we at least have like maybe one person in the couple mentioned coming from like a different hive or colony or something, please? I mean, I guess at least in the bee movie, they do mention the incest thing when some lady bees were flirting with Barry and that skinny bee, but
That girl was hot.
She's my cousin.
She is?
Yes, we're all cousins.
Right, you're right.
even they wave it off like, Aren't they also our cousins? Distant, distant.
Those ladies? Oh, aren't they our cousins too?
Distant, distant.
How distant? They acknowledge in the movie also the incredibly short lifespan of bees.
Yeah, 3 days of grade school, 3 days of high school,
Those were so awkward.
3 days of college. I'm glad I took off one day in the middle and just hitchhiked around the hive.
You did come back different.
So there isn't much luck of that being like a ton of generational gap with these cousins, right? Did they come from a different queen, maybe? I can't believe I'm going to say it, but of the before mentioned examples, I think the one movie with like the least egregious romance was Bee Movie, if you interpret Barry and like Rennie Human Lady as a romance.
Very good.
You coming?
Which most people do because at least they aren't related, right? You're gonna have to not think about too hard about like the inch tall bee trying to. Never mind.
Oh, that bee is living my life!
Let it go, Kenny.
When will this nightmare end?
Let it all go.
I know I'm thinking too much into this, but seriously, why is an incestuous romance so common with bug-based movies? Do we really even need the romance or even heteronormative girl hot character aspects for these movies? What plot significance do these traits accomplish? Can these movies be successfully reworked without a romance included but still hold the same like overarching narratives? Why did the wizard ant need a girlfriend in the ant bully? What about his relationship with her was so relevant to the plot that it couldn't have been accomplished with them just acting more as siblings or friends? In Ants, why couldn't Z and the princess just be goofy enemies to friends traveling together to save their colony, especially when we take into consideration for a lot of the insects in a hive or colony setting, the male dies nearly immediately after mating, if not during the act itself. Why are animators so desperate for the ants to fuck?
Father and I, incidentally, are thinking of starting a family. You know, just a few kids, maybe a million or two to begin with.
The closest I can think of in terms of ant-based movies that I've mentioned with a friendship aspect was probably A Bug's Life, where I don't think much would change with minor tweaking of the relationship between Flick and the princess ant. But what do you think? Do you think that changing any of the romance elements of any of these like insect-based movies would make much of a difference to the overall plot and themes? What is your favorite insect movie you just didn't want to think about the incest implications of? Was this video a little stupid ramble because I wanted something quick to babble about? The answer on that one is yes. Leave your thoughts in the comments. Just be nice to me, please. I know this video is kind of stupid. This video, like all of my content, is brought to you by Patreon, so thank you so much to Ippo, Alec, Ashley, Mel, and Brandy for subscribing. If you want to subscribe to my Patreon, tiers start as little as $1 a month. Also, did you know that you can follow people on Patreon for free, just like any other kind of social media? It's true. Once stuff comes off of early access, you can see what someone posts even if you don't subscribe, so consider checking that out as well. Anyway, I have to run off to script my next stupid rambling video. It might be like How to Train Your Dragon related, I'm not sure yet. Anyway, this is Minji signing off. Until next time.
I can't move on till I let go. I feel so lost, never at home. Need to be strong, every breath hold. 'Cause I can't move on till I let go.
Ouch.